Hello everybody, this is Mr. Bowman. So today we're just going to do over a quick review of the coordinate XY plane or the Cartesian plane, whatever you want to call it. Just a reminder as we get into more of this graphing stuff. So we have the x-axis, right, that goes horizontally from left to right, and we have the y-axis that's vertical and moves up and down. So to get to any point on this entire coordinate plane, it's a mixture of using those two numbers together. So they're kind of like the address of any point. So let's say I have a point right here. Okay. To figure out what the address of that point is, what the coordinates are, I'm going to use my x first because we want to go alphabetically. So x comes before y in the alphabet. So I want to figure out how far it is on the x-axis first, and then I'm going to figure out where it is on the y-axis. And then if I use those two numbers, they should intersect at my point. So going over here, I need to keep going over till I get to my point, which happens at 5. So my x-coordinate is 5. And then how far am I going up? So I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to go up and see that this stops just shy. Well, we're counting by 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the coordinates of this point are 5, 4. Okay. So depending on what the number is, it will help you figure out where it is on the axis. So instead of maybe trying to name a point, what if we had the coordinates first? Okay. So what if I'm trying to find the point -2, 7. Okay, so knowing that I need my x-coordinate first and my y-coordinate is going to be second, I'm going to find -2, which so -1, -2, because I'm going left, so they're going to get negative. -2 on the x-axis, and then I'm going to find 7 on the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to move until those hit each other. So that would be right here. So -2, 7. Okay. And then you can land anywhere as long as you play around with the sign. So let's say I want to figure out this point. Let's go with right here. That sounds like fun. Okay. So remember, it's always x comma y. So my x, I'm going to go from my point to my x-axis. It lands right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I went to the left of my origin, right? That's my starting point. So I went to the left of my origin, 8. So that's -8. If you go left, you're going negative. Right would be positive. Versus up and down. Down would be negative, and up would be positive. Okay. So this is -8, and then I need to go to my y-axis as well. So that is right here. So down 1, 2, 3. So that's -3 because it was down 3. All right. And then we need something in our last coordinate box over here, which is called a quadrant, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's say I have a point right here. Okay. If I want to figure out where that one is, we can once again go back here. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is +8 because it's to the right of the origin. And then down here, which is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So down 7 would be there. Okay. So all of those coordinates are is the addresses and the directions on how to get to certain points. So how would I find this point? 1, -5. Okay. So I'm going to always start at my origin. I'm going to find 1 on the x-axis and -5 on the y-axis and see where they cross. So that would be right there. All right, so there's some practice on finding points. Hopefully that helps bring that back a little bit for you. But one other thing I do want to mention, because it is very important and you're going to hear this terminology quite a bit, is referring to something called quadrants. So these axes split our graph into 4 parts, right? So I have a square over here, a square over here, a square down here, and a square here. So it's quadrants because it splits it into 4, and quad means 4. So this is quadrant 1, and usually when we write quadrants, we use Roman numerals. So it's going to look like an I. So this is quadrant 1 here. And then we go counterclockwise. So we're going to go over here, and this is quadrant 2. We're going to go down. Quadrant 3 is this one. And then quadrant 4 is down here. So when we're referring to quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4, you want to make sure you know where those ones are. Okay? All right. And then one very last thing, since we talked about the quadrants. So we talked about, and this is more advanced, so you don't need to necessarily know this. And so if you're happy with that, go ahead and stop the video. That's fine. But if you are curious, because of the quadrants breaking over the axis lines, whenever you get a point in any of these, they're going to follow a pattern. So these ones are always going to be a positive point. So all the coordinates like 5, 4 are going to be both positive numbers. In quadrant 2, you're always going to have negative positive. All the x's are negative, all the y's will be positive, like negative 2, 7. Down here, these are both going to be negative numbers. So like negative 8, negative 3, all the points in quadrant 3 are both negative. And over here, you're going to have positive negative numbers, like 8, negative 7, or 1, negative 5. Every point over here. So if you do remember that, then just by looking at 1, negative 5, I know it has to be in quadrant 4 because it's positive negative. So it can just help speed things up for you a little bit.